Hey everybody. This morning, whoo, we got pathfinding working, I think. I'm pretty sure 400 skeletons right there, although it won't be obvious until they get up to here. Oops, let's close that. Yep, now they split apart and they just wander around, but they don't get stuck on things. So there's a lot going on here. And I don't even think it's running at 60 frames per second. Where is the monitor? Well, it is now, but I think when we generate text like that, it's dipping occasionally, I guess. If yeah, there, it drops to like 35 because of the quest available text. I think that's just grinding everything to a halt. Not that we're going to have this much stuff going on in the game. Hey, Xanis. So our goal is to clean this up and check it in. Let's take a look at everything. I upped this from 7 to 8. I think that's fine. We don't need a lot of this stuff anymore. I don't even know about that. Yeah, that's fine. This is... let's leave debug enabled off. This just draws the path. I don't like having dead code, so let's delete it. All right, what do we have here now? We don't need this. Although this is a little bit nicer to have for just testing things out. But I'd rather surface it in a more coherent way. All right, now all this stuff about last destination, this can be deleted. Oh, what happened to YouTube chat? There it is. Okay. I want to make sure I don't just miss what people are saying like I did earlier. Yeah, I don't think we need any of this. Cool. Delete. All right. I'm looking forward to making progress again. I feel like we've just been stuck. It's not really stuck, though. We have been making progress. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I should just remove that expectation I have. I think everything is actually fine. Hey, this is pretty good, actually. I guess the only thing we needed to do... Oh, because we got rid of cardinal movement. Right. So the only thing we really changed, this is pretty much nothing. And this is the important part, which is to just barely complete this thing. If I really wanted to, I'd file a repro for this. I should probably do that. Or at least write it down as a thing to consider. Make a minimal repro out of the pathfinding stuff. I'm pretty sure characters can get stuck through no fault of mine. Yeah, if I don't move and slide exactly to their destinations. I was off by less than a pixel. Where is that? Here it is. Yeah. And I'll just paste this stuff in here. I don't like this. Well, whatever. I'll paste it and then just make it tiny. Yeah, I don't think this is going to matter. What am I doing? There we go. Okay, so delete that. Anything else? No, it's pretty much just wrap up what we were doing here. And really the only important thing is this, I'd say. This we can put back in. Yeah. Maybe all of these things? I'm not sure about this one. Yeah, this is not needed here right now. Okay, so prevent pathfinding getting stuck. The most important change was to make sure that I was moving exactly to the destination. I think this is a bug in Godot since, what's it called? Path desired distance and target, well, is set higher than a character's speed. But I haven't filed a bug on this yet. The only other change was increasing the radius. Yeah, so commit that. And then commit this thing. Increase path max distance. This may not actually matter, but it should prevent path recalculations, which may make characters randomly change directions less often. I also disabled the debug drawing of the paths. I think that's it. Yeah. All right, now put the portal inside the town area. How does it actually know where the portal is? I guess it can get the position of it? Yeah, I'm going to put this here for now. Well, that doesn't work. That's a pretty dumb location for it. Maybe I should draw a path to it. Yeah, it does work. Yeah, but it looks stupid. All right, let's draw a path. None of this really matters anyway. In fact, should I even spend the time? No, I probably shouldn't. Okay, then let's put this just off to the side then, maybe. I just don't want it in the middle of this. But really, none of this makes a lot of sense. There's probably not bad. Yeah. Better than nothing. This doesn't need to look great right now. Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. So this is just move the portal. Move the portal. It was out of bounds. I don't like where I moved it, but at least it's inbounds now. Hey, Grace. Are you yawning at what I'm doing or because you're tired already? Afternoon naps. Stop your coding, Adam. You're boring me. Let's make a system out of this stuff. Get rid of var in the camera. I think this is part of this. Yeah. I think the pathing problem is solved, yeah. All right, anything else here? This is kind of it. It's stuck in the non-walkable area. I think this is done. Yeah, I think we can merge the branch. The problem is I'm using the new version of Godot. I think we need to try using the old version of Godot. Let's see. This might like totally break everything, but at least we're working from a clean state. So if I try opening this, it might work. There's no downgrade logic, so there's going to be a bunch of stuff that just kind of breaks. Okay, let's just try hitting the play button and see what happens. Yeah, it failed to build. No simplify path and simplify epsilon, and no is baking. Why switch versions? So I went from 4.2 to 4.3 beta 6, and I don't like the thought of this beta 6 bit. But if this takes longer than like 5 minutes, I probably won't switch versions. So this part about simplified path, I can just comment out. But then the other part is going to be harder. Is baking doesn't exist. Is baking. Is there some concept of... Nope, there isn't. Is blocking signals? No, I don't think there's that. Yeah, there's just bake finished. So you can't tell if something is done baking or is currently baking. Godot. Emitted when it's finished. I guess we can keep track of whether it's baking or not. Yeah. All right, fine. I'll try that out. We'll just put a private bool is baking equals false. And then down here, if is baking, just set needs rebake to true. If it's not baking, then set it to true. And then when it's done, we set is baking to false. Yeah, that should work. Let's try that out. Not even sure. Okay. It launches. Does everything work? Yeah, it looks like everything's working. And I guess we don't even need simplified path because we don't have cardinal movement anymore. They're doing kind of weird things when they go drop off an item. It looks like they get there and then they kind of turn. No, maybe everything's fine. Yeah, I think we're going to just accept the downgrade here. Did this get rid of location from all of this stuff? It did. I wonder how it did that. Probably like re-exported everything. Well, like I said, if it took longer than 5 minutes, I don't think it was worth doing. But yeah, I think let's revert versions. When you upgrade versions, when you go from 4.2 to 4.3, one of the other things that changes is there's a tile map, and it got changed to tile map layer. And it used to be that a tile map could just have any number of layers. So layer 0 would be your background or something, and layer 1 might be your foreground. And now you would have a tile map layer that represents your background, and then a tile map layer that represents your foreground. So you'll do things a little bit differently. I don't plan on making that change right now. And that's another reason why I don't think it's worthwhile to switch versions. So I think we're just going to lower this back to what it was. It looks like everything's working. This is bizarre. Why is this here? Did this just move from somewhere else? Oh, you know what probably happened? They probably got rid of this concept of... Oh man, they made some improvements I'm now seeing. The town used to be part of Navigation Polygon source group. The tile map was? Oh no, that's still there. Does this look the same? Okay, now there's no concept of global groups, I guess. There's just a group. So that's new in 4.3 as well. Godot 4.3 global groups. Group. This is not the latest. I want the latest. Latest. Global groups. Make the group visible project-wide and able to be used in any project scene. Yeah, this is new. In the original, this didn't show up right now. Yeah, it's new. Oh, man. I don't know. Ah, so torn. Yeah, this I don't really care. We would lose some of this. We keep track of his baking ourselves. That's not that bad. I guess I should probably make like a 4.3 upgrade guide that keeps track of some of the stuff that we need to do. Yeah, those are my two options. Option number 1 is just keep version 4.3, and option number 2 is write a guide for how we'll switch to it in the future. It's supposed to come out of beta sometime soon. I'm not actually sure. Godot 4.3 release date. It says it was in the past. It hasn't actually released yet, so I don't know. 82% complete. I don't know when they started. Because, I mean, if it's a year-long development cycle, then we still have, what, 75 days? That's not so soon. But if it was, a few months, it's not too bad. I guess we could look at some of the closed issues and see when they started tackling those. Oh, there's no way to just scroll to the beginning. Can you sort? No, you can't. Well. July at the time. Oh, due by July 8th. Do you believe that? It's true, though. I hadn't seen that. But yeah, that seems pretty soon. Okay, maybe we just stick with this. I don't know. The only person it really affects, I guess, is Darkstorm, who's also going to have to upgrade. Yeah. I guess I'm not super set one way or the other on this. I wonder what other things changed in 4.3 though that I'm just not looking at yet. If I rebuild, we should have, I guess, fewer errors than we did before. Because there was something about tile map being wrong. What does this say? Okay, warning, single line comment in adventurer animation data. This one? Oh, this stupid thing? Should be preceded by a blank line? Seriously? Is that it? All right, well, that was easy. Now, what are these? They're also single line comments. Navigation agent component. 20. Oh, yeah. I just did this. I just changed this right now. I guess we could stay on 4.3. And I guess the only thing I would have to do is get rid of this comment here. Fix linting issue. Yeah, I don't think any of this other stuff is important. It's really not super important either way, right? So I guess if everything's fine, then let's just stick with what works. Yeah, let's just delete all this stuff. So revert all that. Now go to the README. 4.2. Well, we never mentioned 4.2. Download this. The version we use is stored in, how do we link to this? We got to find the project file. It's in game/project.godot. This file /game/project. Oh, nice. It auto completes it. Whoa, that's awesome. All right, so now if we preview this, cool. Except for that's not even correct, is it? Oh no, it is correct. It's right here. But I guess it's probably better in the CS proj. Does it say it there? I can't read that. Yeah, 4.3.0 dash beta 2. What? What? That doesn't sound right. Where do they have the versions? Preview. Mac.net 4.3 beta 2. Really? Where'd I get beta 6 from? Oh, dev 6 was the thing. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm misremembering. Okay, so then we need to link to this file. Game CS proj. Game/CS proj. Where'd my autocomplete go? There it is. All right, now we preview that. We click that. It goes here, yeah. For 2069. Yep. Yeah, I think this is good. Update README to reflect version, Godot version. So I had debated on reverting to Godot version 4.2, which is what we were using before pathfinding, or 4.3 beta 2, which is what I upgraded to while pulling my hair out about pathfinding. 4.3 should launch soon enough where I don't think reverting is worth the effort. It's not actually a ton of effort to revert, but then I need to track what we need to do when we upgrade again. So yeah, commit that, and then I gotta just tell Darkstorm about that, I guess. And then that's the branch, right? Yeah, so now merge the branch and then tell Dark about 4.3 beta 2. Yeah. That was a commit message? Yeah, that was a commit message. I try to follow the commit guidelines that are listed. Oh my God. Let me spam my own chat. I try to follow these. There are some simple guidelines right here. These, I guess they don't actually say like write a whole bunch of stuff out. Alias, commits. Okay, so now we're going to publish this branch. And then I should be able to make a PR. Compare and pull request, add pathfinding. Pathfinding is in the game, but cardinal movement isn't. For more information on why it isn't, see this issue. Where's that issue? Wait a second. How do you go to project GB for boards? This. How do I open this? There we go. This PR requires a new Godot version, 4.3-beta 2, instead of 4.2. I updated the README to reflect that change. Create PR. And now we merge it immediately. Okay, then we switch back to main. Just gotta wait for this to finish. Good. And I think we can delete the branch too. I don't really see a point. Are we switching? Yeah. I was just about to message you about that. I have it written here. But yeah, I just modified the README in game.csproj. We use this version. So 4.3-beta 2. Have you seen Gitmoji? I don't think so. Let me see. I've seen something that turns... Oh, no. I've seen people use this stuff, I guess. Oh, man, there's like a million of these. I thought there'd just be a few for things like fixing a bug. It doesn't break anything we have, right? Technically, no. But now when you rebuild, it tells you that tile map is obsolete. Oh, also there's some other things, but I can fix those other things. Hides inherited member set modulate. Use the new keyword if hiding was intended. Okay, hold on. I can fix that stuff. I didn't realize there were other issues here. Set modulate is actually a thing in canvas item. I didn't mean to hide this, I guess. Actually, did I? Where do I use this? Oh, this is some like really quick thing I did. Yeah, I'll just rename this to like debug set modulate. Yeah, that's fine. Do we change the new tile map thing, the layers? It's hard to say because version 4.3 isn't out of beta yet. When it's released, yes, we probably should. But even then, it's not like the highest priority task. I doubt they'll fully remove it until Godot 5. But I think there's a reason why they've switched, so we should probably switch too. We shouldn't do it until it's actually out of beta. Because they might change some decision there, although I doubt it. They'll probably have it still be gone. All right, nudge label, something changed there too. Set text hides label.set text. And where this is only used internally anyway. What is, can I only use it for this? Seriously? Show nudge. I'll call it set message, I guess. Set message. It's pretty much the same thing. It just doesn't cause an error anymore. So now the only issues are that tile map is obsolete. Use multiple tile map layer nodes instead. Yeah, that's going to be a real hoot. I don't think .NET format would fix those issues, but I should still run it. But it wouldn't have renamed these things for me. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see. Usually takes about 10 seconds to complete. There we go. Only took 8.35 that time. Did it change anything? No. All right, fix linting issues. The only remaining issues are about how tile map is deprecated, which I don't think is worth fixing until Godot 4.3 is out of beta. Gets rid of random white space. I haven't seen it change too much for us that, well, I haven't seen it be all that obnoxious really. But yeah, prettier is really nice. I like using prettier. Also high Nilox. All right, so tell Dark about this. We're done. Merge, we're done with that. Now for this. We're actually removing things from the list. Oh, this feels so good. So is everything done here? Figure out if we can get all this working in an older one. I'm just going to mark that as done. Yeah, the cardinal direction stuff isn't finished. Pathfinding wouldn't generate cardinal. Friendly paths. In the future. Oh, Nilox, thanks for resubbing. Welcome back. Half a year. Oh, wait. Yeah, .NET format uses C# here. Yeah. So in the future, if we generate cardinal friendly paths, we should be able to use this code for the actual movement. Yeah. Man, what a trip this was. Like, I'm so torn on just how I feel about this. Because here are some of the general thoughts that I have. We got the task pretty much done. There's still the cardinal movement that we didn't do. And that's super hard to do. And then the journey itself was pretty long. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little frustrated, I guess, that it took as long as it did. But I think the crucial moment that kind of unlocked everything for me was realizing that, wait a second, we have a disconnect between our path generation and our path following. If you're not going to follow the path, then the path doesn't mean anything. It's like, imagine if our character always had to walk in a spiral or something like that. Like, you might generate a path that it's supposed to just go like this, but your character is like, oh, I'm going to walk through these rocks and spiral around or something like that. Anyway, we'll maybe get back to that at some point, but all right, so that's done. Let's try to finish up some of these things too. Rename worker node so the body sprite is named body and the root is named worker. Same with customer. What is this? We have worker and then we have hands. I guess this should be like animated sprite 2D and then hands sprite. Worker sprite. Maybe we just call this worker sprite and hands sprite. I think I like that a little bit better. Ooh, this is called character body 2D2. It should be called worker. Now we go change the worker scene. So this is going to be called worker sprite and hands sprite. Then body sprite can be renamed to worker sprite. And there we go. I think that should be good. Everything should still work. Why does that look like a customer? Okay, I broke everything. Oh, man. Method not found. Uh-oh. Is baking. Oh, I'm on the wrong version. Oh, my God. That really tripped me up. Okay, so close window. How do we do this? How do we do this? We need to replace the Godot application. Where is it? Godot mono. We need to delete this. And we need to put the one in downloads there instead. And then we need to change Z shell Godot 4 can now point to the original version, which means we should restart VS Code. I didn't expect there to be that many tabs. Now I'm committed. Okay, so quit VS Code, close all these tabs so we get a new shell. Then I guess echo Godot 4. Yeah, that's correct. So now open up VS Code. And launch Godot Mono. Should work. Okay. Yeah, nice. Now, I didn't actually test, are the hands showing up correctly? They look like they are, but I guess the point is that once they carry an item, the hand should show up on top of the item. Yeah, looks good. Adventurers don't do that, but nah, whatever. Okay, cool. So that was that. Now what about customer? Customer has character body 2D. That should be named customer. And then customer. That should be named sprite. And in the customer, we search for customer, I guess. How do we get that sprite? We don't? Oh, we don't. Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Have thanks for resubbing. One axe, please. That'll be $10. Thought just because you sub, you got free axes? What is this? A handout? I appreciate it, though. You're almost at 1 year. 1 year spread over 4 years. Yeah, this is working. Early access. Nice. Now, at some point, we should delete this. Although, if you don't control characters, it doesn't matter if there's a gap here. Yeah. This economy. Hey, an axe costing $10 is pretty good by both RPG standards and real world standards. I went to a garage sale the other day and we were thinking of getting a rake. And the rake was like, I think it was $5 or $15. They had two different ones. I was like, I don't think a secondhand rake should cost $15. Then again, I don't know how much a new rake costs. Let's find out. Amazon rake. Oh, rakes are expensive. The cheapo ones are like 20. Oh, maybe we missed out on a deal. Well, we never got a rake. So we renamed some of these things. Oh, what's this doing here? This shouldn't be here. I don't think this should be here. Revert this maybe? Does that? That might cause a problem every time we open that. Rename some nodes. I had switched to character body 2D everywhere when working on pathfinding, but I never renamed nodes to make the scenes a little clearer. You must be raking it in. Please make it stop. We're one step away from a C# joke. The only axe you ever owned was $90. Yeah, this economy, not like this. Jeez. Half more like entitled. Okay, some of these systems, I want to delete some of this stuff too, though. Camera had some var in it. Yeah, just fix all of these. Come on, fix it. Fix it, fix it, fix it. There. I wonder if we use var anywhere else. We do here. Vector to direction. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you paid 11 installments. That's true. You should get an axe in the mail. Entitled, more like half there. Get rid of var. I don't know why this was there in the first place. It was probably me. I want to get blame it just so that it doesn't sound like I'm being snarky to dark, but if I get blame and it ends up being dark, then I'm going to feel bad. But yeah, let's take a look. I go to camera, we open up the blame layer, and I go to var. Is this... I made the whole file, so yeah, I guess it was me. That's fine. I don't know why they're there, though. Actually, wait. One last thing, as long as we're looking. When was it? 2 months ago. That might have been... Can you see the exact time? Committed April 26th. And when did we start coding? April 17th. Okay, we probably had static analysis by then. So yeah, I have no excuse. All right, check that in. Okay, make a system out of the animation stuff for adventurer and worker. So do they have copy pasted code? Is that why? They have this animation suffix stuff, but then hands sprite is holding item. That's different, I guess. Just thinking of what this is going to look like. I guess, yeah, what do we call stuff that we have here? We have this position last frame. All this is doing is figuring out what direction. So this is like a facing direction component. Well, it's a facing direction system, but it needs to know what your last position is. I don't know why a worker would know. Like the worker is going to need in its ready function something like add facing direction component. Yeah, I guess that's reasonable. Yeah, sure. Table for my commits. Do you understand looking back why you did something that way though? Because I was typing var because it's faster. And then at some point I was convinced that, okay, we shouldn't be using this. But I thought that some point was during Jump Royale. So I don't know why I would still be typing it. Maybe I just wanted to code faster. Who knows? Wasn't that the note about your code creating characters from code? This one you're saying? Because this was about removing some duplicated code. When I made the adventurers use a proper sprite, I ended up copy pasting your code from worker. And I don't want there to be copy pasted code. So I think I'm going to change how this works. Should be pretty simple. We can just go into like a money component, I guess. And save this as facing direction component. Facing, I guess we just paste that there. And this will keep track of this. Position of the entity in the last frame. Yeah. Used to calculate the direction vector on the next frame. Yeah, and that's it. And this is just straight up public. And I guess we add in get set. Vector not found. Yeah, there we go. Following existing ancient inconsistent standard. I see. Yeah, I think if you can look back and say, oh, I just didn't know about this, or I've improved or something like that, I think it's generally good. Let's say you had some code from when you started programming and you had something like, I don't know, in A equals whatever, 0 plus 5 plus 3 plus 1 or something like that. You're like, what in the world was I thinking writing this? Like this, you pretty much never have an excuse for. Like whether you're a beginning coder or not, you're like, shouldn't you just write out what these numbers are or what they equal to and just write 9 at the end or something? Is actual type X equals new these days? Oh yeah, C# will know the typing. I think the only reason really not to use var is that if you're just looking at the code, outside of an editor or a tool, you can't easily know what the variable is. So that can be tough because yeah, you see something like var foo equals some call, And it's like C# can definitely know because it knows the signature of some call. And if you're using a tool, you could just hover over this, or you could go check the definition. But if you're on GitHub or something, it's a little bit harder. Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Now using physics, I don't think you need this anymore. No, I still need to know the last position, right? How else would we figure out which way you should face? Oh, I guess when you move, you can figure out which direction you're going to face. Yeah, your facing direction is your velocity. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess we could delete that. Well, we still need the component. It just doesn't need to actually store anything, probably. First real Python exposure, yeah. Realistically, I've given that fight up. Yeah, that's a pretty minor fight, I would say. There are certainly bigger fights to try to hold. And again, I guess everyone has a hill they want to die on for something. Mine is about segmented messages and how they're just the worst. But everyone who's been here for long enough has already heard me complain about that. All right, so the way that we did this, we got the position last frame, and then where do we use this? Get animation from direction. And this is just to get the animation name. And now we can do that. But we need to set the sprite's animation. So I guess we need the component to hold which sprite to modify the animation of. Technically, you can click on something in the code review. Yeah, GitHub's been adding a lot of things for that, but historically, none of that existed, and that's just GitHub. So if you're on another tool, it might not work. Hey, Halter baby, what are you looking for with the docs? I've got that. Maybe that helps. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm happy to answer your question you might have. Yeah, so I think the way we could do this instead then is we could just store which sprite needs its animation to be modified in the component. And then in the system that moves your position, it can just modify that sprite. What do we call this then? This wouldn't be a sprite anymore. It would be public animated sprite 2D. Animated sprite. Maybe animated sprite component. Animated sprite component. I think for streamers, it makes sense if there's a lot of messages that, hey, they might catch one of them and then you didn't waste a bunch of time typing it out and you don't have to keep spamming that same wall of text. Yeah. Yeah, just thought of another thought. I know why it happens and I get it, but I think I find it frustrating as a consumer of those messages when I'm streaming for one reason and then when I'm not streaming for another reason. The reason when I'm not streaming is usually because of notification sounds. The other reason is I've seen like people's stream of consciousness basically. Like imagine if all of this in chat was one person. It's like I can see them typing out each individual message. I'm like, I know where you're going with this, but I feel like I'm interrupting if I were to say something now. Anyway, there's a bunch of things it just rubs me the wrong way. But that's a hill I'm willing to die on. I know it's rubbed some people the wrong way that I enforce that and then they've left the stream. And yeah, that's just a cost I'm sort of willing to pay. All right, so animated sprite component. I'll write down why we even have this. References an animated sprite so that a movement system can control. My phone thought I was talking to it. Can control the sprite's animation, I guess. Well, the sprite's facing direction, which is done through animations. All right, now this should be saved as animated sprite component. Then we delete Whoops, not that one. That one. All right, now why is this red? No, now it's fine. Must contain a not null value when exiting constructor. Yeah, sure. Let's take in the animated sprite. I guess this should only be allowed on a init. Yeah. Get back LOL or something. Don't you love it when you write something out thoughtful? Took a long time. They just put a thumbs up. I don't mind that actually. If somebody responds to something that took a long time and they respond sort of, I don't know, not in a long way. I feel like otherwise you end up with these long walls of text going back and forth, and at some point it gets pretty tedious to read. That's actually how I used to kind of catch up with people. I'd be like, here's a bunch of stuff about my life. What's a bunch of stuff about your life? And I was like, wait a second, this is like having a pen pal. Like there's no reason to do this. So I think there is a balance. Yeah, I like that there's now, well, this has been here for a long time, but you can click the messages section for any viewer and you can see what they typed last. And that's really helpful for context. There are some other things I'd like to be able to see. Like it'd be really nice if in this thing I could say, oh man, this message, what was this around? And I could click this and see the entire chat log. I feel like that would be a great tool. Hey, Danilo. Just got fired from, I think you left out the name, but that's okay. For bad performance working with React. Going back to work with WordPress that have a lot of experience and more confidence. Safe for now until I find a way back to React. Some advice about the situation. Okay, so I don't know the full situation, but I think typically if you get fired and you know the reason, that there are usually signs leading up to that reason. So for example, if it's not usually just like bad performance was like, you know, wrote one bug and you got fired, unless that bug cost the company, you know, $10 million or something. It's typically like wrote a bug, got code review suggestions, you know, still did things in a suboptimal way. It's like there are probably lots of signs that pointed to that this was going to happen. And I would say look back at some of those signs and think, what could you have done differently upon receiving those signs? Because in the future, I mean, you're talking about React and you're talking about WordPress right now, but in the future, you might be talking about like some completely uninvented language X and some uninvented technology Y. And these are things that you can't even know that you have a problem with yet because they just don't even exist. But in the future, maybe you start using these things and somebody says, hey, this isn't the right way to do things. And you're like, whatever, it works. I'm just going to submit it anyway. It's like, oh, maybe that's a point to listen to and to pay attention. So yeah, that's one piece of advice is like, look back, kind of ponder this stuff. And another thing is look at like, I don't know, professional code in whatever language you're talking about, I guess React code in this case. And see what's different. What do you do differently and why? And why did they do what they do? So approach it from both directions. Yeah, jump to in Discord would be nice. Yeah. A lot of people's chat history is polluted by Jumper. Yeah. Hey, Grayson. Hey, PX. I'm sorry to hear that though, Danilo. It is really tough to lose a job and especially to be fired from something. On the plus side, they told you about the reason. So yeah, it is something you can improve on now. And if you look back and you think, man, I don't see any of the causes for this, I don't see any pointers that this happened or any indicators, I think it'd be one of two things. Either it's not an honest look back, or this was out of the blue and they fired you for some other reason and they said it was due to bad performance. But I think the indicator should be there. All right, so when we make this component, we're gonna put this in here, I guess. Create worker hasn't been added to the scene yet. So we have the worker sprite. We're gonna do ecs.add component, this new worker sprite. Okay, now in the navigation system, when you move, we can say if ECS. Actually, let's just get the component. ECS.get component or null. Entity. This, and then if ASC is not equal to null, ASC.animatedSprite.animation equals this, animation plus suffix. Oh, drat. Suffix. Man. Because I guess it needs to know to hide the hands or not. Is that right? Holding item. Yeah, it needs to know to hide the hands or not. Okay, then maybe we should keep this separate for now. Maybe this was a bad idea. Yeah. Alternatively, we could put it into this component. There could be like a bool has hands. It's kind of funny to put there. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. I don't know. I think it's a little weird. Public bool has hands. Let's at least sketch this out. If it looks good, then it looks good. Fine. So now put true here. And then for the adventurer, ready, we get the sprite. Now we need to add this sprite, and you don't have hands. Now in worker, we're going to copy paste this stuff into the navigation system. So if ASC is not equal to null, we'll just say update animation, update animated sprite entity, and then take in their velocity as well. Yeah. Private. Oh, did not realize I had shift held. Okay, just paste that in. I don't really care about this. So if it equals null, then just return. And now we're going to put in the code that I had here. Okay, so animation name, animation helper, get animation from direction. This is vector to direction. Okay, I need this to be public. Yeah, so vector to direction takes in velocity. Does it take in something else? Last position. What? Why does it need the last position? Oh, this is not how I would do things. But I think that's fine because this was a private before. So we can just do this. We can just say current position minus last position. It also doesn't need to be normalized, right? Yeah, it doesn't need to be normalized. Direction vector. There we go. Yeah, calculating the direction. Vector to direction. I would probably say, I guess this is, I see what it's saying. Facing direction. It's like vector to facing direction. Okay, so now we have this. So animation name is holding item. Oh, darn it. Oh, man. All right, this is a little weird. Does it have a held item component? And if so, do stuff? All right, well, here's the non-hands way of doing things. So let's just code them both. Again, this is just a sketch for right now. So if ASC.has hands, then do this stuff. Otherwise, do this stuff. So let's get this one to look good right now. So this is going to be vector to direction velocity. Then the sprite. And then we don't need that. What is the problem here? Animation name? Oh, the animation name came from this. Get animation from direction. Oh, this is... Yeah, the direction should just be passed in. Current minus last position. Yeah. And now I guess this can be private again. So now this changes to this, and this changes to... Oh, velocity, yeah. Okay. All right, is holding item. Z-index we don't do here. We still need this to be here, I guess. Animation name is facing up. Oh, darn it. Yeah. Yeah, this is... I'm not sure I want to do any of this. I would set the Z-index on the entire worker. But now just their sprite. I guess we could do that. So this would be asc.sprite. Holding item animation suffix. What is that? Holding item. Okay, put this here. And then worker sprite.animation. Oh, we need the hand sprite. Where do we set this to invisible? It's just in process all the time. So process is called every frame, but I'm moving this to the navigation system, and this is only going to get called if there's a target. So if the worker were ever idle, then they wouldn't know to hide or show their hands properly. I think I'm inclined not to do this. Like, what am I really saving? I guess I'm getting this code out of here and this code out of here too. And then using the velocity. I'm still torn. Yeah, like we'd be able to delete all of this. Be able to delete this too. There. And then from worker, it'd be very similar. We would delete all of this. This. Yeah, I think this is worth doing. Fine. All right. Well, instead of passing this in, then let's pass in the hand sprite. All right. What is the hand sprite? It's an animated sprite? Oh, I didn't realize we had. Where's the Oh, I hate it when I do this. Probably want that one. Just close all tabs. Where are the hand sprites? Got it. Hands. Hands.png though. Why is this animated? Does this have animated hands? Worker GIMP. No, you don't have animated hand. Why are you an animated sprite then? Huh. Yeah, I think this could just be a regular sprite. Okay, well, that's a change I can make in a little bit. Make hands a regular sprite on the worker. All right, I got to take a break in just a little bit. I want to finish up what I was doing here, though. So we pass in the hands sprite, which for now is, I guess, going to be an animated sprite 2D, but I'll change this. This will just be hands sprite. All right, that's not a Boolean. It's now an animated sprite 2D. So that in the navigation system, it's not has hands. It is if hands sprite is equal to null. So if there are no hands, do this stuff. And if there are hands, do this stuff. So now this turns into hands sprite. This turns into animated sprite. And there we go. I think it should be good. Yeah. So now what's the problem here? This that I never did? Update animated sprite. Oh, I already had that. We can delete that too. Okay, does the code work? That is the question. How do you organize a gaming project? I see you writing code and taking notes at the same time. I think it's a pretty open question and that there's quite a lot to that. So the notes are to make sure I don't drop tasks. And there are lots of little things that come up where you're like, oh, hey, I just found a bug. If you don't write down that bug, it might as well not exist to some extent. Like as far as a work item goes, someone else will just encounter the bug and then they have to file it. So it's like, yeah, just try to make sure you don't drop tasks. And then as far as the coding itself, I think, like I said, there's a lot to this. There's the prioritization of what do you want to work on first? And then there's how do you accomplish that task? And then what do you need to do? I guess they're pretty similar there. So the first thing is not even figuring out, it's like laying out what all of your tasks are so that you can figure out which ones are important. And there's going to be, if you imagine you're making an FPS, there's going to be like, you know, add multiplayer. This is going to be a whole bunch of tasks. And there's going to be something like reskin a gun. And you'd probably consider this to be like, okay, the game is multiplayer, it needs to be a P0, and reskinning the gun doesn't really need to happen for release. So you can start to prioritize them that way. All of this comes down to how you organize what you're doing. And what you're seeing is at any point, like a slice of this on the stream, right? The prioritization happened ahead of time. What I'm tackling now are things that are already on my list. We've got a backlog in this project over here of things that we can tackle. So I want to do the quest follow-up work next. All of this has priorities on it. So there's a bunch of P0 stuff. Then P1 is like, you know, prototypes and things, looking at other things. P2 is like, make t-shirts. we don't need t-shirts, but hey, they might be cool. Just YOLO it, yep. You've only got org in your name. The org Nash. Did this run? Oh no, it didn't. Cannot convert from bool to animated sprite. Where did I has hands? Oh, the adventurer. False. Should just be null. Which means this should be nullable. There. Use a simple Notion task and Sprintboard thing. Yeah, but that's not YOLOing it, right? Like imagine if you didn't even have that stuff. After a week or two of taking a vacation, you might come back and be like, what was I doing? What was I working on? And imagine if you took on 3 other people onto your project or something like that, it'd just be really tough. Okay, so the worker has hands. You can see it. It's moving kind of fast. But once they go pick up this item, let's take a screenshot. Okay, now the hands are... Wait, that's not right. Is that right? I don't think that's right. What happened here? I don't know. I don't think this worked though. It's really hard to say because the hands graphic is pretty tough to tell if it's showing. Is there something else we could do? Oh, you know what we could do? We could set the modulate on this to be really obnoxious. Where is the modulate? Why can I never find this? There it is. All right, let's just make this like red. Right there. Now they've got red hands. So it should be very obvious. if they are carrying something with those red hands. So they have no red hands now. They go pick up an item and they still have no red hand, which means everything's broken. Oh. Which probably means is holding item is false. Where does this get set? It's just held item component. Oh, this. Oh, that's why. This should be entity. Yeah. Problem solved. Wait, their hand shouldn't have shown up at all, though. This is still broken. Yeah, their hand's probably rendered twice. Go pick up an item. Go get it. All right, they're the red hands, but I think that we have... Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, there was already an item there. Oh my God, thank goodness. All right, are your hands showing up underneath that? They probably are. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. Maybe let's set this to false and see. I think everything's fine. I think I had just broken the condition that I needed there. And thanks, Ordnash. Yeah, and glad to hear that you're joking about that. I always wonder because some people come in here with some pretty hot takes. Yeah, no hands. Cool. All right, we're going to write where I left off here. Where I left off. Not even sure that I like how the code is now organized. There's this line in the middle of a navigation system. I feel like it should probably be in a separate system altogether. Yeah, hey Galloping Cow, is there a marketing plan, Doc? No, there isn't. The marketing plan is pretty much wing it at first. I released a game called Botland a while ago, and I mean that game is discontinued, and I don't have any plans. Whoa, what? What happened to my certificate? Oh man, I gotta figure that out now. All right, hang on a second. Figure out why Botland doesn't have a cert. Anyway, I released this game. I did a bunch of stuff. The marketing, it's not like this was great, but I think even with $1 million marketing budget, this game still wouldn't have been great. So I think with Skeleseller, I've got some ideas for what I want to do, but yeah, it is pretty much just wing it. Yeah, I thought I recognized the name, but for whatever reason, it said first time chat, and I'm like, maybe I'm forgetting this person. What's weird is, no, it actually only says, oh, account created 3 minutes ago. That's why you had a different name. Okay. Hey, Marshana. Had to remake your account. I see. All right, well, I'm just about to take a break. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I hope all of you have fun playing Jump Royale. Is it jump time? Also, hey, Waddle. It's jump time. everybody. Close the game. All right. So yeah, where I left off was seeing if I even wanted to do this. And it's because of this right here. I feel like this is inside the navigation system, and this is checking if we're holding an item. And it doesn't have to do with navigation. It has to do with updating the animation of something. So it kind of makes me think that maybe the navigation system should be updating, yeah, what velocity, what direction you were facing last. And then something else should be responsible for handling, yeah, what to do with that information. Let me think about that. What do we get? Animation system. So yeah, I think that might be better. I should write this down. Animation system stores which direction, or not animation, navigation system. Stores which direction we were facing last. And then some other system for handling animations uses that information. Kind of want to sketch that out now too, but I think I'd want to commit this first. Because here's what's nice about this change. Adventurer lost 13 lines. Worker lost 31. So it's 44 lines moved pretty much to the navigation system. But now if anything else ever needed them in the future, they'd just be there. And then this got slightly better. Yeah. Take care, Darkstorm. Hope you feel better. Hope the sickness doesn't last as long as the sickness lasted for me. God, that was frustrating. Yeah, I feel like today has been the first normal day since I got back, which means it's the first normal stream since what, like May 20th or something? And what's today? The 24th. There's been a month and 4 days. A lot of that time was spent on vacation, but then yeah, all of last week I feel like I was back, but I wasn't feeling normal. Yeah, I think I want to split this into another thing. The system. And sprite. Yeah. Okay, well, does it look good enough for right now? I think so. Wait a second, does anything even use this other code? Oh yeah, projectiles probably do. In fact, I didn't test that. Ooh. Hopefully this isn't totally broken. Let's take a look. So I need to grant money, hire adventurers, and then start 3 battles and see what happens with this mage battle. Okay, no, it's still working. The mage is the only one with an actual projectile right now. And yeah. Okay, I'm glad that's working because there's no reason to have collision for those things. They can just tell when they've reached their target. Yep, cool. Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll check this in. Okay. So refactor animation code. Both the adventurer and the worker have animations for each direction that they can face. So I wanted to consolidate that code. The problem is that it's in the navigation system right now, despite not having anything to do with navigating. Yeah. All right, well, we'll make a new system and it'll just act on anything that has the animated sprite component. So the animated sprite component now needs to store public vector to last, or like facing direction. Can you get this from a, guess you can get it from a character body 2D. Yeah, because you still have the velocity. But I think this is probably what I'll do. I like this better. All right, so we need to get set, and it'll be set to actually. What am I doing? Navigation system. That should handle all the animations. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a facing direction, and now the system will set that facing direction. The correct system will set that facing direction. All right, so ASC dot facing direction equals velocity. And that's it. That's pretty much all we do here. Actually, to the point where we just do this, and then we can return. Why does this not work? I was trying to do this all of yesterday, and I couldn't figure this out. It says the left-hand side of an assignment must be a variable property or indexer. It is a property. If I were to set it to a function, like let's say I had a public void set facing direction, and just wrote all this stuff out. If I were to do this set facing direction, this would work all of a sudden. So why is it that works? Not assignable? But why do they say that it can be a property then? Left-hand side of an assignment must be a... Oh, it's just... Oh, I see. It's not saying that about the question mark part. It's... Yeah. Oh, man. I didn't realize. Okay. Well, I guess in this case, it's nice that you can always change it to a method. And yeah, I'll give you a point to go D. All right, so now none of this stuff should happen in here, right? Yeah, to the point where this shouldn't even probably exist here. We'll just put all this right here. Character dot velocity. And then delete that and move all of this to a brand new system. So let's go add in a new system. What is the simplest system that we have? This is physics process. I guess it should be in regular process. I'll just save this as animation system, walk animation system, something like that. All right, now let's go make all this look good. Walk animation. Let's close out of this stuff because I wanted to open up one other thing here, which is the navigation system, and delete things from this that we're not going to need. It's pretty much all of this stuff. Good. And now we can delete that stuff too. Now, and here, how do I want to do this? We can keep track of when something gets an animated sprite component, and then only update those entities here. Yeah, I think let's do that. All right, so node 2D, this is going to be like animated entities. So go through each animated entity, and I guess this should just be regular process. Delete this stuff. We'll just say update entity delta node. Yeah. So if component is animated sprite component, there we go. And removed if it is animated sprite component. Guess you need an underscore. Okay. Then we call update entity with this stuff. All right, so now get the animated sprite component. Actually, it's pretty much going to be all of, where's this? Here. All of this code. Yeah. And we don't even need the delta. So now velocity, vector to velocity equals ASC dot velocity. What was it called? I clearly didn't call it velocity. Facing direction. All right. So if this is null, which it can't be null, and I'm going to have to change this in a bit, we'll just return. That way this stuff goes away. And then this can be renamed to facing direction. Yeah. And there we have it. I think that should be pretty much everything I want. Hey, Angry Moose. Colmac DH, if I understand your QMK correctly. Yep, it is Colmac DH. Yeah, I have now been using it for a little over a year, and I think it took that long to become comfortable with it. I've mentioned this before, but I feel like the way that you learn a language or a layout, so like most people start by knowing QWERTY, and you just kind of know it at this point. But now let's say you tried switching to anything, Colmac, Dvorak, just any layout you could think of. I feel like the way that you learn is you make errors on every single word you type. And the way that works is because there are bigrams and trigrams that you then drill in to your muscle memory. And it's through these that let you type new words still somewhat quickly. But until you've broken every single word that you've ever written like 400 times, that, yeah, it's very tough. Started using it yesterday. I was having an inner fight for like 6 days. Well, I made a video somewhere. Where is this? Colmac, maybe? Yeah, this. I suggest watching this video. It will probably resonate with you. I recorded it. I don't know when I recorded it. Hey, everyone. 6 months ago. Yeah. But I highly recommend watching that. You will probably go through some of what I went through. And that can maybe save you some pain. BRB in 10 minutes. I mean, you can watch it whenever you want to, or not at all. It's totally fine. I don't want to just dump 10 minutes of work on your plate. So this all looks good except for this part, which I think we're just going to pass in. Animated. How did this work in... No, wait, no. We could just get rid of this, right? Get component. And then not make it null. Because we already know that it has it. And now it says remove delta. Can we just do that? Seriously, I don't need delta here. I guess we could just not pass it in. Okay, and then I should reform these comments. This is all worker specific stuff. Well, it's whatever has a hand or hands. It's not necessarily worker specific anymore. But if the entity has hands, we need to render its sprite above everything and disable the hands. Its body sprite above the hands when it's facing up. Okay, and then holding items. You can't play a walking animation with the arms waving. Switch to a different animation where the arms not visible. So when holding an item, don't show the hands as part of the body. Yeah. Drilling in those grams. What's the layout you're using, Hef? Is it the axe layout where you really only can type 3 letters? It's just laid out like axe, axe, axe. And your keyboard is actually in the shape of an axe. Because for $90, that's pretty good. You can type 3 letters. All right, I think I'm happy with this. I don't like this boilerplate, but that's a very, very minor thing. I'd love for systems to just know which components they care about and then somehow track them. And there's probably a way I could code this, and I haven't devoted any thought to it yet. But here's the benefit of this system, which I don't even think I tested any of this. But we deleted all of that code that's related to animations now and put it elsewhere. So yeah, let's go try it out. See if it works. No, but for real, which layout are you using, Hap? I don't know if I've talked to you about this. Okay, and it's totally broken. Well, that was fun. So the navigation system sets the facing direction, and then the animation system takes that facing direction and uses it to get the walking direction. Why is this broken then? Maybe we have no nodes here? Let's put a breakpoint there and see what happens. Oh, wait, no, not there, right there. There we go. Dvorak with symbols as first-class keys in Swedish integrated. Oh, I think we might have talked about this. Those layers and whatnot. Same base layout I use on my work laptop. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it's not breaking in at all, which means that we have no entities that are being tracked by this. How did I break this? Oh, the system doesn't exist. I never created it. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think the town should have the system then. Where are the systems? There they are. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I'm adding it through these. So this will be the walk animation system. And then we'll filter to that. There we go. All right, now it looks like they're working. So I see them facing different directions. Now, what about the skeleton? Does its hands work correctly? Yes, it does. And what about you, adventurer? You don't have hands. Yeah, surely someone from 4 years ago, when onboarding to this Python code base, knew what they were doing. Surely that person wasn't me. So yeah, the town scene got a new system. Now there is something a little weird about this, which is we need pathfinding between instance rooms, and that's probably going to also need to walk. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I don't want to do that though, but that's something we got to do in the next month, but I need a little recharge time before that. This is like the direction that we're last facing. I think this is fine. Holding item, yeah, all of this got deleted. Nice. Oh, you know what we didn't test? What happens when a customer runs out of money? Also, I guess when we speed up the game, everything breaks now, right? Well, not everything. But I thought things could get stuck somewhere. They don't look like they're getting stuck. Wow, that's impressive. Huh. I guess because of that new movement code that I added in. Wow, who would have thought? Yeah, so let's grant some items. I want to see customers get deleted. This is impossible. I can't tell what's going on. All right, there. Now that one has $4 left. So as soon as it buys that potion, nope, it can still, wait, what? Oh, it got deleted. Did it work? Oh, right, customers. I think customers wander around for 2 seconds and then just die. Is that what happens here? Customer. Transition into buy item. Buy item checks the money somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, out of money. That's in pick item target. Yeah. So they walk around for 2 seconds, and then if they're out of money, they get just deleted. All purchased items are extremely cursed. Well, the trick is to always have enough money left over without buying that last item. If you can't afford a potion, then you have no value in this town. But yes, it looks like everything's working. I'm pretty happy with this. So let's check this in. Make a walk animation system. This just takes the code from navigation system that didn't really belong there. Yeah. Hey, this is an economy, okay? And they're digital customers. Sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. All right. Just so happens those eggs are digital people, but it's a digital omelet, so it's okay. This is done. Okay. Overdraft fees before. Oh man. I would be just laughing for longer, but the concept of overdraft fees and how banks actually use them is kind of insidious. I heard of, well, I read this online. I don't know for sure this is true, but I have heard of Bank of America doing something like rearranging transactions so that you get overdraft fees and probably making a boatload of money off of people who then have to pay those overdraft fees. Break some Greggies to make a Tomlet. Yes. Thank you for providing the words Private Orange when mine otherwise failed me. All right, what was I going to do? I was going to go rename. No, not rename. I was going to go change worker so that hands sprite is a sprite. And its texture is, you guessed it, hands. Oh, drat. Now it's going to show up in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? No, that's pretty good. Is that where the old one? Wait, no, it was always showing there. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm doing. All right, now an animated sprite component. We turn this into a sprite 2D. Sprite 2D. And then when we make one of these in the worker, we get the hand sprite, which is just a sprite 2D. There, that should work. Mine is extremely scaled down, 60 words per minute, 99.8%. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, yeah. You're saying you got there after 6 days? Because it's pretty good. What did I just do? Oh yeah, I added in the hand sprite in the correct spot. So now, yes, everything looks good. Oh, 22 words per minute. I see. Oh, you're saying that what you need to get back to is about 60 words per minute. I don't know if it works that way. I don't know if it's like, let's say your normal typing speed is 50 words per minute, and let's say someone else's is, I don't know, 150 words per minute. I think it takes both people the same amount of time to get back to their original speed. That's my guess. I don't know for sure that that's true. But just because you have a lower number doesn't mean you're going to get there faster. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. Anyway, I hope the other kind of warning signs in that video are helpful. The things about like how you look at your learning, what you measure. I think those parts are what was important and why I recorded that in the first place. Yeah, this is just change hands node, change node type of hands sprite. It was an animated sprite 2D without being animated. Kill it in 7 days. Okay, yeah. So now it's just a sprite 2D. Cool. Let's go check that in, push. All right, customer won't H flip anymore since it's a character body 2D and not a sprite. This should be the job of the new animation system or whatever. Perhaps I should make a special component just for the customer. Do I have this somewhere? Sprite 2D? This right here. Pursue target location if it's a sprite 2D. I guess if it's a character body 2D. Nah, even this is kind of stupid. Should just be if it has a sprite. How do we check that? It's only customers. Customer has a sprite. Wait, nothing even uses this code, right? Oh, no, never mind. Something does use this code. What do I want to do? Oh, Dan, thanks for resubbing. Welcome back. Thanks for your 2/3 of a year. Only anxious about Vim HJKL. Oh, yeah. That, and if you ever do gaming, WASD on a Colmac keyboard is just messed up. But yeah, HJKL are not in positions you would expect them to be in. How are we doing? We're doing way better than before. What is that icon next to your name? Raging Wolf Helm. What? I don't know how I want to write this code, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because the customers are going to eventually get replaced anyway. In fact, maybe we just delete this. Or maybe we write some specific customer logic. What does a customer have that nobody else has? They have a money component. I mean, we could do that. Watch an Elden Ring stream and you get it. Do you just get to keep that forever? What even are badges at this point? You guess? Okay. Yeah. Well, you know you have the most important badge. The graduation cap. Yeah, I don't want to do this. It's not that they are a sprite 2D. It's that they are a character body 2D and they have a sprite. All right, I'm going to write some code that's going to suck. And we're going to money component. And we're going to just see. All right, so sprite 2D sprite equals entity.get node and then flip it. This is wacky. Yeah, this is wacky. This should go here. No, wait, this can't go there because I need to change. Oh man, this is wacky. All right, well, let's try it out. Trade them for badges. They might. Yeah, I think created date might matter more to people. Because I was going to say names aren't exclusive to an account now. You could always change it. Although people might still trade for those. Yeah, customers now move. Ooh, that's not right. Oh, interesting. This isn't based on the direction that you move in anymore. Right, it's only where you're facing. So this should be deleted. And this doesn't matter anymore. It's not there. So we get the direction that you're facing. And then we set this to character velocity. Character velocity. All right, so customers still don't have proper animations. So this is some hacky code to flip them. Yeah. Now customers should just face left or right properly. So we can just watch them wander around. And when they move right, they should face right. When they move left, they should face left. Looks like it's working. Yeah. Like I said, this is hacky because these customer graphics aren't going to stay in the game. We're going to eventually switch to probably these graphics. But we don't have graphics for all the adventurers and all the customers. Maybe we should get custom graphics for the adventurers. Yeah. It would probably be good to have custom for the adventurers. They would need walking animations. the very least. Maybe a victory animation. I don't know. Maybe they would also need hands. Not sure. Don't care. Not going to think about it right now. We are instead going to check this thing in. This also doesn't really belong here. Yeah. All right, well, whatever. So fix customer sprite H, flip H. This is somewhat hacky code because customers are going to eventually have proper walking animations. Okay. Finish the quest tasks. We're not doing that today. Reach out about this stuff. Got to do that soon. File a task to have systems get component added to entity instead of the components themselves. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. It's just filing the task. I don't think this is very important either, so I'm going to put this as P2. Allow systems to act on components being added. Yeah, so that's this task. So currently, components have component added to entity. For example, target location component uses added to entity. It's not called added to entity, right? Target location component. Oh, no, it is called added to entity. Wait, what? Building an ECS? No, I already have the ECS, and I'm not even necessarily doing something different with it right now. I just... This is a little bit of a philosophy problem here. So the way I look at an ECS is, and for those who don't know, it's entity component system. Your entity is just a bundle of components, and your components are just data, and systems are the logic that glues everything together. So if a component has logic, then it's a problem. Except for not really, because sometimes you just code things because they're quick. So in this case, we have a tiny bit of logic in two components. And I'm like, that probably shouldn't be there. This should probably be in a system. But the only way for it to be in a system is for the system to know that components were added to it. And we don't have that. I don't think it's worth doing exactly. There are two problems with this. The component shouldn't be doing this since it's logic that should be in a system. And this code is duplicated by target item display component. Yeah. Okay. And then one other change we should probably make. So I'll file this and we'll just say milestone whenever. And then I'll create another one. And we'll put one here that is reduce boilerplate code in ECS. In our ECS. For tracking entities. Okay. So we'll look at the animation system that we have. Yeah. Let's just copy paste the whole thing and then delete the code that I don't want to show. So this. And then this can just be a blank function. Okay. So it's common to have code like this in one of our systems. That's a lot of boilerplate. We should ideally just be able to say this system tracks. Where is the component? Seriously? There it is. Tracks entities with, and let the code figure out the rest for us. Good, create. Where'd that issue go? Here it is. Yeah. Okay. Also, welcome in, Yolan. So this is done. These are a lot of little minor changes, but I think we're going to do them. Yeah. All right, add more regions to base wander. This is pretty much pointless now that I think about it, but let's add in like 2 more. There are only 2 more to add. All right, so here's what we do. We look at a point over here. This is like 1, no, that's not. It's negative, what, 88? Negative 88, 200. Negative 88, 200. Just got to remember that. Oh, I should just make this a switch at this point, right? Target equals switch. Isn't there like switch R? Switch expression. I forgot how this works. C# switch expressions. I just want to see the syntax. Direction switch. So it's R switch. Okay, whatever. So 0 is this. And then what do you put? A comma? 1 is... I've already forgotten the numbers that I was supposed to remember. Oh, well. And we need arrows and not these. Does not handle all possible values. Does it know that this could be somewhere in the range of... No, it doesn't. Yeah, and then we need an underscore. It just knows that it can be an integer. Getting deep with custom ergo splits. Soldering past coming to haunt you again. Well, how is it coming to haunt you? This is like, yeah, argument out of range exception. Except for I don't even care about this. Invalid value for random region. Okay, now what's the problem here? Parameter name is not declared in that argument list. Oh, you put in the parameter name R. What was it supposed to be? I should just let the AI do this for me. It wanted to fill it in earlier. Now it doesn't. Fine. I don't know. Didn't touch it for like 10 years. You mean soldering at all? Is this still complaining at me? The parameter name R is not declared in the argument list. Param name actual value. Huh. How is that a problem? Does it need to be a string? Oh, weird. All right, I want to look at this. Argument out of range exception. How is this supposed to look? Name of age. All guests must be... Oh, we don't need this? I guess it's optional. It's just not declared in the argument list. I don't understand. Huh. I don't understand what that means. All right, well, let's just do this. Invalid operation exception. Non-invocable member cannot be used like a method. How is this supposed to work? I swear this is just... I'm just copying this. Okay, I am going to look this up. What is this? Used an argument exception constructor should match an existing one. What is an example of compliant ones? My error message, comma, A. Name of A. Can I literally just have that then? No, it still doesn't work. But they have this here. Huh. Do I have to say target? No. Yeah, I do not know. Whatever. I'm suppressing this. This is ridiculous. It still doesn't let me even. Kidding me? S3928. Are you sure our switch is correct? I mean, that part should be fine, but I'm not positive, and I'm just going to try to get this code to work. Let's see. If this works, then at least I'm doing what I expect to be doing. Doesn't know how to throw an exception. Yeah. Well, I know how to throw an exception. I don't know what that linting error is complaining about. Yeah, this is working just fine. So yeah, the R switch is just doing a switch expression. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to add in 2 more regions here. So we're going to throw in 2 and 3. This was not worth the effort at all. So negative 88, 200. Negative 88, 200. And then down here-ish is what? 38. What's that number? 312. 38, 312. 38, 312. So 38 plus 88 and 312 plus 192. Yeah. I did this wrong, didn't I? Oh my God. Whatever. It's all working out just fine. The 500 definitely seems wrong though. 12 minus 200. Yeah, this is like 112. Oh. Was that name of on a unit? Does that work? A uint? I think it should work on anything, but I don't know. Maybe not. I think it should just tell you the name of the variable. Okay, now there's one more region, and that is down here. And this has actually the same x coordinate, so it's just the y coordinate that needs to change. And I probably just need to add a static amount. So what is that? 375. 375. So yeah, we add 100 and, whoops, no, 375. 375 minus 192, 183. So I don't know why I just did that because I wanted 375 there. Whatever. Let's try that out. Oh yeah. These arbitrary numbers should be replaced by regions, but since we only have 4 parts of the map right now, this is all I'm going to do here. So if we add in a bunch of customers, they should be able to wander to all of the different parts of the map. They're never going down here for some reason. So there must be a problem with that. Oh, they're going outside the bounds because I duplicated the wrong thing. Yep. Here we go. Let's try that again. Oh, this is why they should just be regions. All right. There we go. They should go all over the place. You can grant some things here. So yeah, now when they randomly wander, they're kind of stopping here. They seem to go to the left. Yeah. Okay. Looking good. Yeah. I don't like these pragmas here though. And I don't know how to get rid of them. Instantiate argument exceptions correctly. Can we get rid of that? No. R is the param name argument to an argument out of range. Replace this with one of the methods parameter. Oh, I see. Oh, because it's not an argument. It's just a local variable. So we should have said like delta here. Oh, now I understand. The other error message wasn't clear at all, and that's the one that was showing up there. I mean, this doesn't make any sense now. I guess it shouldn't be argument out of range exception. Is there a way to see all the C# exceptions list? Index out of range? And it's not really index out of range either, though. Where are they all? Complete list. Ugh, I don't want to look through all this. Man, which one makes the most sense? Cast format field access. Entry point duplicate divided by 0. Trying to do a method. Yeah, no, none of these really. I guess I want it to be like an invalid operation, but you can't do that here, right? You can? Well, I could have sworn I did this earlier. Whatever. There. That's it. That's the code. Happy enough with that. Add a couple more wander locations. This is all hard coded because we're eventually going to change the map entirely. I wonder if there's a way to get a random walkable area in a nav mesh. We might eventually want to do that. So add more random regions, done. Make the wall tile have a W graphic so that it's visible to us. Then hide it when the game starts. We may need an invisible wall tile and a visible one. Yeah, this was a quality of life thing for ourselves. There's no way for you to know that you've properly made this map. And the only way you can see is by using the paint bucket tool and selecting something that makes it obvious. And so here you can see it turning blue. Actually, I didn't even realize this was here. Apparently, this exists. I did not realize. Wait, what is this area? Is this just the blank space on the map? No, because this has some weird area too. How do you... How do you bucket delete? Oh, there. No, that's... What? What's going on? I think this is just blank space. Well, this highlights the problem. These are all walls, and I want to show that they're walls. So we need a wall tile. It's going to be a little bit of a mess. We could do this. That did not work because whoops, I just deleted it. All right, we could do that. That could be our wall tile. And then we just change the graphic of it eventually. It's not going to be clear which one of those it is, though, because I guess that shows everywhere. I did not think about this, did I? Maybe we can make it the FR. Is there anything that it actually would work for? No. I should just draw a W in here. Yeah, fine. All right, where's the atlas? Open there. All right, so we just take this bit at the upper right and just draw a dot here. We're done. Easy peasy. Overwrite atlas. Okay, now it should re-import. Now we have that dot we can't use. I want to add that tile. Done. Now we click that, click that. Nice. Now we just need to give it collision. Probably. Do we? I'm not sure. Let's just hit the play button for a sec. It'll show up in the game, and it looked like the characters are just walking right over it. How fun. How truly fun. All right, so here's what we do. Go to the town, and we change something. We got to get the tile map, which I guess we don't ever get. Do we ever get it anywhere? I don't care about TSCN files. Instance has one. Yeah, this is deprecated now, right? And we do this so that we can change some things. This is fine. Town, we're gonna say fixed tile map. Fixed tile map. I guess we do that before rebaking the navigation mesh. Yeah. So um, we want there to be invisible walls. Better than a video game. I don't know. I'm hoping the video game I make is better than the entertainment value of the stream. Or else I'd say it's a pretty bad game. We want there to be invisible walls around the town, but we as developers need to be able to see those walls. So we change their sprites. Well, we change those tiles to be invisible colliders at runtime. Yeah, it has to be done at runtime because at build time, you need to be able to see them. Yeah. Well, I guess get the tile map. Where does it exist? Tile map is inside town. Town is, this shouldn't matter. We should just delete this. All right, so we get the tile map and then go through each cell. Get used cells of a layer 0. And then can you do a for each on this? No, you can't, but that's okay. We'll just do a for each here. What is a cell? Oh, hey, it already kind of wrote some of this out for us. All right, what does it get cell V? I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. How do you set this? Set cell. So yeah, there must be a get cell. Get cell source ID tile data. Turns tile data associated with it. Oh, I have no idea. Layer coordinates. Okay, layer 0. Let's just put that here. Constant layer equals 0. All right, now what is a cell? Tile data. What do you have? Do you have like an index or something? Terrain transpose. How do you tell what this thing is? Huh. Yeah, I don't see it. There was set cell, and we set it to be what? Atlas chords. I want to get the Atlas chords then, not this. Get Atlas, cell Atlas chords. That might be it. You can paint custom data. That's what get cell tile data returns for you. User defined set of properties. But how do I want to render something like this where in the editor something shows up as a wall, but then in the game it doesn't. And I recognize I can paint something custom on this, I guess, but how would I have it only render in the editor, I guess? Also, where do we even change that? Custom data layers. You can check if you're in the editor. I don't know how in C# though. Well, I'll try this really fast. I mean, if this works, then I guess we're fine here. It's a vector 2i of this thing. So if this equals vector 2i. All right, I don't know what the Atlas coordinates of this thing are. Can we see them? Ah, there we go. 47,0. 47,0. Then set cell, which is I think what we use. Yeah. Set cell layer vector 2i chords cell source ID. Oh boy. Somewhere here has collision. This one, I think. I forgot how you even look at collision. There it is. Physics. Got it. Yeah, it's this one. So 39,0. And what was that supposed to be? Source ID. Source ID is what? 0. All right, that might work. Let's try that out. This is breaking though. Maybe it can't even find the tile map. Yeah, no tile map found to root town scene. Oh, it's capital M? Oh. Well, that explains it. Okay, still broke. Still with 2 errors. Still the same error, I guess. Yeah, node not found, root/town scene. How is that possible? Oh, because it's inside town? No, that shouldn't matter. This is oh my god, because of how this is named. Oh, I knew this would bite me at some point. Town scene is the script. There is no town here. Okay, yeah, never mind. Would something like if debug work? So, like, this is one of those cases where if you have something that's off by default, then yeah, something like an if debug might work here. But we want something that's on by default that we then turn off. Turn off in production. Anyway, what I'm doing here I think should be fine. We just need to fetch this node at the correct spot, which I guess is where we get it from here. Town path. This. Yeah. Tile map. There. Okay, let's try that. Okay, it works to change the graphics, but it did not make this collidable properly. And I assume these 204 errors are why. No tileset atlas source with ID 0. Really? Atlas source. How do you tell the ID of it? Huh. I don't actually know what that is. Because in this other one, it was 0. It's just the... Strange. I wonder, maybe the town itself knows what this is? Town TSCN? Tile map. No, it's in town scene. Tile map, here it is. Where's the source ID? There's no source ID. Oh, there's this ID. Is that the ID I'm supposed to use? No, it's an int, right? Yeah, it's an int. The source identifier source ID identifies a tile set source identifier. See, tile set. This is like the funniest sentence. I mean, it's descriptive, but it sounds like totally made up. The source identifier source ID identifies a tile set source identifier. No kidding. All right, well, tile set source. Let's go see where that is. Tile set. I don't know. There's probably a way to get this though. Maybe like tilemap.tileset.source ID. What is this though? Is this taking arguments? Index. Index of what? What? Index of what? Would debug versus release work for what you're trying to do? No, not quite. It's sort of hard to explain, I think, but like, okay, so we have this map and we have something that's visible only during build time and then like make it invisible at runtime. If we had something where it was like, I don't know, let's say we had like a damage multiplier and when we're testing, we set this to like 5x, we could have something like an if and then a debug and check something like, I don't know, whatever, set the damage multiplier. Why don't you do the opposite using a script tool? I mean, part of the reason why I'm not looking into a different solution is because this should work fine as soon as I get the source ID, and then I'll probably just never touch this again. I'm not saying that the way you're suggesting is bad or wrong or anything. It's just, this is pretty low effort. The only problem is the source ID. I don't actually know how to get it, and I don't know what this thing says. We have a tile set, but then, yeah, I guess I just don't understand what is the... Oh, it says ID 3 right there. What? The tile? What? Each tile stores a source ID? Oh, well, I guess it's 3 then. Does that work? I mean, I know that a lot of this is hard-coded right now, but let's see. Hey, it works. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's it. That's the change. So now you can see the walls in the editor, but you can't see them in the game. Yeah. We should probably spawn adventurers inside those walls. Maybe spawn them at the portal. Spawn adventurers at the portal for now. All right, now the only question I really have here is there a way to get that tile map.get source or tile set dot source? Get source ID just as index. All right, you know what? I'm gonna do something really fast. Let's try something out. For in I equals 0, I is less than like 200, I plus plus. I just want to print this whole thing. I colon this. All right, what is this print? Because I have no idea what these things are. I'm guessing it's just going to print the number 3 over and over. Yup. What is this? I don't know. Also, how did this get to be 3? Is it just the third thing that we made? Shop. Shop has a tile map. There it is. What do you have? Yours is 0. There are probably just that many tile maps in the game. Town has one, Instance has one, Shop has one. And that's it. Okay, what does Instance have? Oh, Instance has many of these, doesn't it? 2, 2, 0, 0. I think these could just all be set to 0. I don't know how these ever even changed. Unique identifier. I don't know. Oh, you know what it probably is? Okay, I have an idea. I think I know what's going on. I think when you make a tile map and you add a tile set and you go over to here and you drag in something, this gets an ID. And then I think future one, so if I drag in warrior now, yeah. All right, so this is 0 and this is 1. And probably what happened, since we have like a million different tile sets we were trying to figure out how to use, is that just happened to be the third thing that we dragged in, or the fourth thing. So we could just set this to 0. I probably shouldn't do that. Is it worth it to go to a university like Berkeley or UCLA for computer science, or should you just go to any university or college? It seems companies don't care about college degrees anymore. I think this question is not exactly what you might think it is. I think the first question is just college, yes or no. And I think this all has to do based on the individual of like, do you need the structure? Do you need the sort of the, I guess like the social and work structure of this? And can you afford it and all that stuff? So there's that. And then which college? And I think there are a lot of factors here that make it kind of hard to answer exactly. I don't think you need to spend a ton of money on a degree for computer science. And I've said this before, that I've worked alongside people who have no degree or an English degree or an electrical engineering degree or a PhD in computer science. They've had kind of anything across the board that you could imagine. And I I don't think I saw a correlation between do you have a degree and are you a better computer scientist as a result. Although I will say that the PhDs I worked with were pretty good. So it was unlikely that I'd find someone who got a PhD in computer science who was bad at computer science. So there's that. But then which college you go to, I still think there's a bit of a bias for hiring people who have a degree. So I can't say it's that people don't care anymore. And I should say that they shouldn't care. But yeah, some people do. So this is a very long-winded way of saying, I don't think it matters. But because other people might think it matters, you've got to fight their biases. I think if you can prove you can do what they're asking, you should be all right. Look, in an ideal world, that's true, but I think you are fighting so many steps along the way. Like, think of what it takes to even get to an interview. First, you go through the application process, but think of what it even gets to a human reading your application. It's probably going through some like keyword detection process, and then maybe somebody looks at it and like, I don't know. Anyway, you're fighting a lot just to even get to that point where somebody is across a desk from you saying, hey, why should you work here or something, or answer this leak code question. Is a degree only useful for getting that first full-time position? I think, like I said, it's all about the bias of the person who's about to hire you. But yes, I think it matters less and less as your career goes on. Hey, Easy James. Just want to mention I jumped into your stream a few hours ago, got sidetracked with the FAQ and roadmap, and ended up watching chunks of the tech career mentoring sessions. Very insightful and valuable. Wow, cool. Yeah. Yeah, the next one of those is going to be on Wednesday, I think. Yeah, this one. Wednesday, June 26th. Yeah, 2 days from now. And like 5 hours ago. Yeah, for whatever reason, the newest one with, I think Kyle just kind of caught on YouTube a little bit. This video. Yeah, this has 277 views, which is not a lot for YouTube, but like for a random mentoring video I put absolutely no weight behind for marketing, it's pretty good. I don't know what the actual watch stats are. That's just the view count. But anyway, welcome back, Easy James. Watch part number 1 and more number 4. Wow, well, I'm glad people are watching this. So does the university matter? They have a bias to interview the graduate from Berkeley over boot camp? They probably do, yes. And also there is probably a quality difference between schools. So just like how I mentioned here, should you even go to college, and it's, do you need the social and the work structure? It's like, are you the kind of person where if there was something lacking in your education, would you go fill in those gaps yourself? So no matter where you go to school, you might have a bad professor. And if you have a bad professor, you might not be as engaged. They may not teach you the right things or all of the things. Are you going to go seek out that knowledge yourself? If you're that kind of person, then no, the college probably doesn't matter very much. But if you're just like, you know what, they're teaching me, I trust that they know what they're doing, then yeah, maybe the quality of the school could help. So that's why I say this isn't like such an easy question. Like I said, ideally it doesn't matter, but it all comes down to you, the college, the people you're around, maybe even the reputation of the school, the layout of the campus. It could be anything. And you might have a very different experience as a result of some of that. Now, I will say this. When I started getting my first jobs, internships, and then real jobs, I remember thinking, wow, school did not prepare me for this. So it's not that I'd learned nothing. It's just, it's a very different environment being in school versus being on a job. And that's why my biggest piece of advice to like new employees for any company, and I don't even mean at a company I work at, like people ask me on Twitch, hey, what should I do as a junior developer? It's ask questions and it's lean on your team. And this is only possible when your team has experienced software developers, which sometimes you don't have. I worked for a publishing company at one point, and you know how many software developers they had? One, and it was me. And so I couldn't ask anybody anything. And that was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. So for me, that matters. I wanted other people I could learn from. And then I started working for, big tech companies like Google and Microsoft. And when you're working for these, there's no way you're the smartest person at the company. Like, you have other people who are there. There's a lot to learn from. So if you had a choice, would you go to Berkeley for computer science, or would you go to a boot camp or bypass college? I'd probably go to something like a Berkeley for computer science. But again, this all comes down to like, could I afford it? I think a boot camp to me feels like a bit of a gamble. And college feels like less of a gamble. But this is a very personal question you're asking. So this all has to do with my own biases that are helping answer that. Don't they have a pipeline from those universities? They do, although that's not the only way to get hired at those universities, or sorry, at those companies. I'd say they're generally pretty good about hiring good talent. Like they've got pipelines from everything possible. Not just universities, it's also like the local area, other companies. Like then you could just apply through their websites too. Am I working for Google right now? No, I stopped working at Google in October. And then I started streaming. I wouldn't say full time. I started doing content creation full time. And when I started this, you've all got access to this journal command over here, but I'll pull this up on screen. When I started, so you can see the last however many days are all just Skeleseller. I've been working on this game, right? But at the beginning, it was a lot of different stuff. And I didn't really find my footing exactly. And then I said, you know what? I want to do game development. And that's what we're going to be doing pretty much the rest of the year. So really the content you can expect is going to be mostly game dev and then some of the time mentoring and then even less of the time interviewing. And I've got a couple of interviews coming up that I think are going to be kind of cool. There's the interview command as well if you want to take a look at that. I think this is the schedule for it. Yeah, so you might have seen, darn it, what's her name? Juicebox Hero. I'm looking at her real name here. Juicebox Hero on Twitch. I'm going to be interviewing her on July 12th. And then I don't have an intro yet for Sharon, but she is, I think, the product owner of Responsible AI at GitHub. And I think she's got a new title now too. But I'm really looking forward to these interviews. I think they're going to be great. And then Windy, I've got to contact again because he was in the middle of a move and we just kind of let that fall through the cracks. Do you miss Borg at Google or PubSub? Borg is pretty cool. The thing I miss more than that, I'd say, is just the general tooling and developer ecosystem. It was very, very good, I would say. Well, I can't even really say I miss it. I like my own ecosystem, I guess, but it was nice having other people improve your tools as you use them. And you don't tend to get that a whole lot when you're on the outside. Also, getting all that stuff for free. I mean, they're actually paying you to use it all. So source ID equals 3. I guess we'll just put this here. Source ID. Why is this? Oh, is that a constant? I don't care about that. Yeah. So we only have one tile set source. Okay, cool. And then can you make a constant vector? Test equals new vector or new 1, 2. Nope, that's fine. Anyway, there's going to be the wall, like visible wall tile, 47.0, and then invisible wall tile, 39.0, and we'll just replace these down here. There. All right, I think all the rest of that should be fine. Let's try that out again. Most of the Google internal tools are available externally. Yeah, that's true. Although it's a different experience externally. And I mean, you've got to provide your own infrastructure for a lot of them. Programmer D, thanks for the resub. Welcome back. 53 months, excuse me. I just added 1 to your number. Reminds me of a Victor Borga sketch, the inflationary language. Also matters who's doing the interview and hiring. High-end colleges are very much a social filtering system. Yeah. Yeah, and I will say this, at least at big companies, they usually do a pretty good job at trying to train you to remove some of those biases, but you can't ever remove all of your biases. And even if the company tries to do a good job, some people just sort of ignore those trainings. So I remember explicitly hearing at Google, like, don't pay attention to where they're currently working. Like, you only care if they can do the current job. Because some people might say, oh, they work at Amazon right now. They might be more likely to do X or less likely to do Y. And it's like, you really shouldn't think that. They're gigantic companies. Why did you decide on making a game versus, let's say, a SaaS or a tool for corporate? Just level of interest in fun. For me, I've always had this desire to make games and have people play this stuff and find them fun. And for something like a SaaS or a tool, I feel like the main goal there would be either that you need it yourself or that you're trying to make a bunch of money. And this year is not about making a bunch of money, as evidenced by my making way less than minimum wage. Maybe next year will be a little bit more about that. Or maybe Skeleseller just takes off. Hey, Shiloh. Go to community college and transfer. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good choice. Yeah. It looks like these characters are wandering around properly. So, I mean, mission accomplished. Also, I guess we can finally fill out the journal. Whoops. Checked in all of the pathfinding stuff after a major realization that the reason why cardinal movement wouldn't work is because the pathfinding assumed diagonal movement, and that mismatch between expectations would mean it's a non-starter to use cardinal directions. Today was the first day that I felt like myself again after being sick for so long. Can I be a character in the game? What would your character name be? what would your weapon of choice be? I hope it does. I was just wondering your thought process. I wasn't there when you decided for game dev. Yeah, you know what? Like in a nutshell, what happened is I kept saying, what should I do with a stream? What should I do with a stream? And there were all these ideas that I had. And I bounced around a lot of different topics. And I was trying to focus on like, oh, what are people interested in? And a couple of people in chat asked me, what are you interested in, Adam? Not what are other people interested in? And I was like, you know what? I want to make a game. And then there's another thing that happened that I thought was kind of interesting. I take a ton of notes, as most of you know, and I have a game ideas note. And this has just been accumulating games for years and years and years. And I finally went through them, and I think it was on stream, and I processed what were like the top 2 or 3 ideas that I had. And this concept, how did this concept even come up? I guess it started as Idle Ascendants, right? But the idea originally was just to have a game about battling, and people thought that wasn't enough. Well, at least not with the battle system the way it was. This is never going to load, is it? I wonder why this is taking so long. Well, it's almost at the end, and I waited this long. Come on. Okay, yeah. So for those who never saw this, these were the humble beginnings of Skeleseller was as Idle Ascendants, which was not exactly an idle game. But yeah, you picked a character, you could walk around in this world, get into battles, you chose your abilities you wanted to use. There were no real animations for the abilities yet. There's also this cooldown system, which I guess was never really explained in the game. Yeah, so as you leveled up, you'd start getting skill points. You'd eventually put them into this automation skill, and then battles would just become automatic. And at that point, you're just moving your character around, choosing what do you want to battle. And that was it. And we got a lot of feedback from that. And people were like, yeah, it's okay. So that's when we added the whole town system. And we were like, you know what? What if the battles were for a reason? What if you were fighting, but you got items? And yeah, that's where we are now. So now you can start a battle. It's the same system. You don't have manual control anymore. And when you win a battle, so if I speed this up, you see items pop into town. Oh, wait, that's not how you win a battle anymore. You got to win 3 stages of a battle. All right, well, let's just force a win. There. So yeah. Personally, I'm glad I never spent the time through university. Yeah. Yeah, I think the whole needing to be self-driven is pretty important, though. I think there's probably some category of people out there who's like, oh, I don't need university. And then they start trying to learn on their own. And after like a week or a month, they just give up. And then their life is on a totally different track. Those are the kinds of people I think really need a college or university experience. It feels like there's some similarity with Rusty's retirement there. You think about having it be a Twitch integrated game? Hey, Fullbox, I don't think I'm going to have it be Twitch integrated, at least not at first. I think, you know, a lot of this is like the development time for the game is planned to be about 6 months. and we've already had maybe like 1.5 months so far of that time. So basically we're trying to target roughly December. And there's just so much to do that having Twitch integration, having like Steam items, achievements, etc., we'll have to pick and choose our way through that. I think Rusty's Retirement is meant to be played sort of in like a portion of your desktop as well. And I think it's meant to be more of like the idle style of game. And when I think idle, I think a couple of things. One is like really long playtime, I guess, and sort of infinite progression. And also just kind of like what I call inhuman numbers, where you have damage numbers of like, 12e 37 or something like that. Rusty's Retirement may not do all of these things, but I assume the long playtime part is at least true. And this was like maybe like a 5 to 10 hour game. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I just joined in. What are your opinions on college? Very short story is it's helpful for some people and it's required for some people's biases if you want to get hired at their companies. That's it. That's the very short story. But if you have enough industry experience, I don't think the biases matter anymore. And if you don't need that framework of college, then, good for you. No need to pursue it. What happened here? These got deleted somehow. I don't know how. Huh. And that was an instance. Maybe just because I opened it up. I'm going to just revert this, though, because I didn't mean for any of that to happen. Town scene. Yeah, we changed this a little bit. And then this was the important part. Fixed tile map. Yeah. Cool. Why haven't I open sourced Botland? Even the time to open source it is time I don't feel like spending. I've debated on open sourcing it a bunch of times, and I feel like I need to write instructions at the very least. And I've heard people say various things in the past, like you don't need to do that, just put the code out there. And I think, but who would it help? Like who's going to look through the Botland code base or do something with it? It's a very complex, like 5-year long code base that I can't just throw it on GitHub, I feel. The other thing is, even if I could just throw it on GitHub, I probably need to at least look through it and make sure there's nothing like I don't want there. So yeah, at some point, maybe I'll host it again. Maybe I'll make it open source. I'm not opposed to the idea. I just haven't. Okay, so make invisible walls visible at build time. The way that, or I just added a red dot on a tile and then converted all of those tiles to the invisible walls we used just before this commit. Then at runtime, yeah. I watched you build it. I could add a ton of documentation to it. I'm not totally sure if that's serious, but if it is, thank you. I really think it would be a big undertaking to do that. And like I said, I'm still not sure what the gain would be at the end of all of that. It's not, okay. I guess imagine this. Imagine if I made a game like StarCraft and I was like, that's it. Oh my God, that terrified me. I heard my door start to open. It's the cat. I didn't realize the door was open. She pushed it open and it's now over here. Imagine if I made StarCraft and I was just like, all right, that's it. I'm done. You can never play this game again. Like StarCraft is a beloved game. So to just take that away from people would be a bad experience for all the people, and they'd be clamoring for something like this to happen. But Botland, I feel, was played by very, very few people. And that's why I say I don't really know what, okay, cat. I don't really know how many people would care. How many lines of code is Botland? It was quite a lot. I don't know exactly how many. Okay, cat, you want to sit down? Good girl. Well, thank you, Alman. I will have to consider this sort of thing if I eventually decide to open source it. It's just even just getting the code, kind of sharing it with you, making sure we're on the right track. I feel like even that would take whatever, an hour, 3 hours, something like that. Is this game RP idle game only going on Steam or App Store as well? It'll just be Steam and itch. She's purring very loudly. What a good cat. Yeah, let me type in. Actually, I could just say this. Check out the Skell command. What's the cat's name? It's Abby. Oh, that didn't work. Let me type this in. Skell and Abby. There's my wonderful picture of Abby. What a good cat. I'm already very warm though, and she's even warmer. She's purring so loudly. Yeah, I'm super happy with today, by the way. Oh man, we got, well, let me slow this down. There. Yeah, we got the pathfinding working properly. It even works when there are a bunch of obstacles in the way. And I'm like happy enough with where we left things. I'm happy with what we figured out about it all. And all those little weird issues that were happening, I think have been ironed out. Then we got some other random things done. And just generally today represents the first day I've felt kind of healthy enough to be back and doing stuff. But yeah. I did want to do more work. I just, this cat. Oh, you're so cute. What are your thoughts on AI and dev? I love using AI. I think it's great. I think the general, when people ask that, I think they're more asking about what's the industry going to look like in however many years. And yeah, I think slowly efficiency will start to get better for people to the point where companies will hire fewer people. But I don't think it's going to fully replace jobs anytime soon. Yeah, typical cat making work difficult. You want to sit down? Go, girl. Have you used Fabric for your note taking? No, I haven't. I haven't tried any, like, I guess where I mostly use AI is for coding. I don't tend to ask AI a lot of questions. I don't tend to use it for note taking or anything just yet. Yeah, and the stuck worker thing, oh man, there were so many problems. What a good cat. You really have killed my productivity now. I would have been totally fine to continue working. But now I have to pet you. Make sure you're happy. Actually, what time is it? 4 o'clock. Okay, we feed her at 5. All right, well, I finished this change. Where was it? This. Spawn adventurers at the portal now. That should be easy. She's so cute and soft. Okay, will you let me code? Yeah. All right, where do we spawn a worker? Position equals portal. Yeah, what about create adventure? You can't really see her, but she's like rubbing her face against my hand. Nope, 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 that's my straw. I want your cat breath on it. Where did Twitch chat go? Okay. All right, all right. If you just come sit down. Yeah. All right, so we got to go to hire worker or hire adventure. Here it is. And we add it here, and now we just need to position them. No, stop. No. Oh, nice. See, the AI just wrote out what I wanted anyway. That's what's so impressive to me. Like I had that on my clipboard, and then I accidentally undid it because the cat nudged my hand. All right, so now we should always hire adventurers from the portal. Let's try that out. Good cat. Okay. So grant money. The adventurer should come out of here. Where is hire adventurer? There. Yes, perfect. Yeah, Abby's a really good cat. She's just very high energy. Like I timed myself yesterday. I played with her for 36 minutes and she just wasn't done after that. And then I played with her for like another 20 and my wife played with her for some time. She just has so much energy. And it's a bit frustrating sometimes because with something like coding, you can't just take a 10-minute break all the time and keep your thought process. Yeah, so spawn adventurers at the portal. And then let's close these other scenes. And then revert this. Spawn adventurers at the portal. Now that they're spawning in bounds, I've fully enclosed the town area with invisible walls. Cool. Okay, these other ones are pretty quick to do. Or, well, no, sorry. These ones are pretty quick to do. This one is not quick. This is make the AI better. And I really want to do this task, but now is not the time for it. And the other thing I really want to do is make a new character class, because I feel like there are all sorts of different categories of work, right? There's hard work, there's easy work, there's fun work, there's boring work, there's whatever else. And I've been doing a bunch of hard work, and now I want to switch to more fun work, which to me would be create a class. And I don't know what that class would be exactly. We had some ideas for abilities. I only wrote down the main classes here. Ability ideas. Do we have all the different archetypes? I guess we don't have a healer and we don't have a summoner. Actually, what archetypes do we even have? I guess we have rogue, warrior, and mage. And rogue would be DPS. Mage would be DPS, and then warrior was like more of the tank style. So healer, summoner, and maybe some kind of mix, hybrids. And then, yeah, more of everything after that. I don't think a healer is really all that necessary right now, but I guess it doesn't really matter what's necessary now, because that's a balance thing eventually. Also, summoner is not really possible with our current system. We'd have to like allow for summons, which might not be too bad. There was some talk of how should summons even work. Where do we have that? And Dark asked some pretty good questions. Yeah. So should summons be targetable? How big are the sprites? Where are they spawned? Do they persist between stages? And there are lots of interesting things we could do here. And I think I wrote some of these abilities down over here. Summon related stuff. Yeah. Summon an ally for X amount of time. This was one of the problems in the original game, Idle Ascendants. There was a summon skeleton ability, but it was just on a 20-second cooldown. And the skeleton just lasted forever. So it's like every time this got used, it increased your power by such a large amount. And then the more times you used it, the more skeletons you'd have, and then you'd get even stronger. So I think it'd be cool to have something where it's like, yeah, summon whenever you want, like every 5 seconds, but only summon them for 4 seconds or something like that. Yeah. I should ask Dark about how much he wants to work on this stuff. Ask Dark about how much interest there is in the summon task. Yeah. Can classes upgrade into subclasses? No. The reason I didn't want to do something too complex there, I actually did a video about this, I think. Let me take a look. In case you want to watch this later, you don't have to. Yeah. So my take on this was this is a largely automated game. And when you're in a battle, you're not choosing your abilities. It's just you have Quick Strike, you have Cloak of Shadows, and both those things get used on a timer. And if you could subclass or something, it would change some skill points, I guess you choose in some of your character classes. But for no real benefit, I think. The way that this game is going to eventually work, and it doesn't really work this way now, is that when you go into the portal or you choose an instance, you'll be able to pick your party. And I think of the adventurers right now as basically being like building blocks. So the rogue has 2 abilities, and they're both damage dealing. And the warrior well, everyone has 2 abilities, but both of the rogues are damage dealing. The warrior has one that's more like defensive, and then one that deals damage. And then maybe there's a healer class that just has like a defensive buff and a heal, and can't even do damage on its own. So if you want a subclass in another game, it's because you wanted like qualities of class A and qualities of class B. If you want that in this game, I feel like you'd form, maybe there's like a 5-person party. You'd form a party of the different components that you want. So maybe you need a lot of defensiveness, in which case you get a healer and a warrior. Or maybe you just need a ton of attack, in which case you get like, rogue, mage, ninja, whatever. And I like that idea. Whether or not it works in practice, we'll have to see. And I think that'll be a pretty good opportunity for checkpoint number 2. Right now we have 3 classes. For checkpoint number 2, I think maybe we should probably aim for like 6 to 7. Do I have that written down by any chance? More adventurers. I didn't write how many. Maybe somewhere between like 2 to 5, 2 to 4 more. Yeah. And in the final game, I think there might be like 15, something like that. So you'd have a lot of different building blocks to choose from. And who knows, maybe they don't really matter too much. I don't know. We'll have to see. Kind of an idler payoff would be to evolve your pet. I see what you're saying. So more for the flavor of it and the feel of it than for the need to customize your battlers. You know, a lot of people have talked about this, wanting to somehow upgrade or evolve their characters. It's tough because I feel like some game design you do for mechanics and some game design you do just because it's player expectation. And I'm torn on this from a mechanics perspective. But I think this would have to fall down the line somewhere, like maybe in checkpoint 3. Oh, wait, I wrote this out wrong. Checkpoint 4. Yeah, maybe checkpoint 4, we try to see, like, is it needed? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I also want lightning bolts. Animations for abilities, like lightning bolts, slashes for physical attacks. Yep. Just see pixels change makes them feel like growth. That means user. Yeah, I agree with that general idea, and I think there needs to be that in the town somehow, of feeling like your town is sort of evolving too. So maybe even simple things like you eventually get a fountain or you get flowers or something like that. Or being able to place different parts of the town and seeing it grow. A lot of this, it's like if I were developing this game over the course of 3-4 years, I think there'd be time to devote to each entire system. So it's sort of like when you're watching a movie, right? If you watch a movie and it ends up being an hour long, it's hard to get attached to any of the characters. But if you make it 3 hours long, now you can get attached to the characters, but it might be boring for some people. It's like if I spent longer developing this game, I think we could do different things and I could really focus on, like, I don't know. Part of this is also guided by just the philosophy of what I think this game could be best at. What about you make 3 1-hour movies? You get attached to none of the characters and you're bored. No, it's okay. I'm about to wrap up pretty soon. I've been streaming for what, like 7 hours today? I think that's pretty good. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to do. Tomorrow I was debating on making a YouTube video. I might. Maybe a YouTube video on Skeleseller. And probably tackle some of the organization tasks that may exist. Yeah. All right, let me go find somebody to raid. Who's online? Not a ton of people, actually. Oh, I have not rated this person. I think. Let me see. Wait, there's a raid browser. What is that? Oh, I do not like this. Okay, yeah, we're gonna raid this person. I've never seen her content before. And I'm gonna hang out for a little bit and then probably get going. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, today feels like a return to form. I feel like I can finally focus again and do things. So the next stream will be on Wednesday. There will also be mentoring on Wednesday. So I'll be mentoring Rami. And yeah, we'll just kind of see where things go. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, see you all. I'll be back on Wednesday. Bye.